There's probably little you could do to convince lovers of lobster that what they're eating isn't actually a delicacy worth spending $20 to $30 on at a restaurant. Because of its current status as a tender, succulent crustacean meat served on some of the most expensive columns of certain menus, people think it's worthy. It may shock many people to know that lobster is actually an easily obtainable creature for serving as food. In fact, it's so easily attainable that at one point, it was commonly gathered and served as food for prison inmates. In North America, the American lobster did not achieve popularity until the mid-19th century, when New Yorkers and Bostonians developed a taste for it, and commercial lobster fisheries only flourished after the development of the lobster smack, a custom-made boat with open holding wells on the deck to keep the lobsters alive during transport. Prior to these times, lobster was considered a poverty food or as a food for indentured servants or lower members of society in Maine, Massachusetts, and the Canadian Maritimes. Some servants specified in employment agreements that they would not eat lobster more than twice per week. However, there is limited evidence for this. Lobster was also commonly served in prisons, much to the displeasure of inmates. American lobster was initially deemed worthy only of being used as fertilizer or fish bait, and until well into the 20th century, it was not viewed as more than a low-priced canned staple food. When alive and living in the sea, lobsters are naturally a dark blue/black color. It is thought that natural selection led to this, as it makes them harder to spot for predators. But put them in a pan of boiling water, and they soon turn the familiar orange-red that is the color that most people think for lobsters, i.e. on their dinner plates. The key is a chemical called astaxanthin, which has the orange-red color of a cooked lobster, and how it interacts with a complex of proteins called crustacean, which lobsters produce. The reaction of astaxanthin with the protein complex gives the creature its dark blue color. But crucially, when the lobster is cooked, the protein is denatured and the astaxanthin is released and reverts to its orange-red state. The first thing to know about Maine lobsters and what visually distinguishes them from other types of lobsters is that they have two strong, large, heavy front claws. Each lobster has two different claws, a larger crusher claw and a smaller pincer claw. The crusher claw has a ridged edge that resembles molars and is used to break up hard foods such as clams and crabs. The pincer claw, or ripper claw, is used to tear apart softer prey such as worms or fish. These claws can be on different sides of the lobster's body, as the crusher claw is always on the lobster's dominant side. Two distinct differences between warm water versus cold water lobsters is that unlike the cold water lobsters found in Maine and Canada, warm water lobsters found in California and Australia do not have claws. When people consume warm water lobsters, they are only able to eat the meat that comes from the lobster's tails. Generally, this meat is less tender and not as sweet as meat found in lobster's claws. A lobster can discard a limb to escape a predator. If a lobster loses a claw, antenna, or leg, it is able to grow it back. However, a 1-pound lobster may take 5 years to regenerate an appropriately sized claw. Lobsters taste with their legs via chemosensory hairs that identify food. Lobsters tend to pursue fresh food, including fish, clams, mussels, crabs, sea urchins, and even other lobsters. The food that gets consumed immediately heads to the lobster's stomach, where it gets chewed with a grinding structure called a gastric mill, kind of like a set of teeth. Supposedly, the brain of a lobster is the size of a pea, and the nervous system is so simple that it does not process pain when we boil them alive. The noise you hear when boiling lobsters is air that has been trapped in the stomach and forced through the mouth after being out of water for short periods of time. However, most consumers still don't see it that way. In fact, we will never know how the lobster feels. The largest lobster ever recorded was 20.14 kilograms and between 3 to 4 feet long. It was thought to be at least 100 years old. However, no one has found a way to determine the exact age of a lobster. Lobsters' shells do not grow, so they must molt their shell and grow a new one as they age. This molting, or shell shedding, occurs about 25 times in the first 5 to 7 years of a lobster's life. Following this cycle, the lobster will weigh approximately 1 pound and reach minimum legal size. A lobster at minimum legal size may then only molt once per year and increase about 15% in length and 40% in weight. The green part of a cooked lobster, tamale, is a digestive gland that acts like an intestine, liver, and pancreas, accumulating contaminants from the environment. Many people, especially in New England, consider it a delicacy and eat it along with the rest of the lobster. Because of the potential toxins, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the Massachusetts Department of Public Health have advised consumers to refrain from eating the tamale. Lobster is high in protein and low in fat. 3 ounces of lobster contains about 76 calories, 16 grams of protein, and less than 1 gram of fat. Lobster also contains healthy omega-3 fatty acids and iron. If you avoid smothering it in butter, lobster is a great addition to any diet and a healthy way to build muscle.
www.fooddrinkmagazine.com and the YouTube channel are working day and night to provide you with all about your food and drink curiosities from around the world. We would like your help to further expand our food and beverage portfolio. Wherever you are in the world, send your food and beverage experiences to admin@fooddrinkmagazine.com in a video or article format. Let the introduce your country, region, or business, your food and drink traditions to all over the world. Thank you in advance for your contribution. Please visit our website at www.fooddrinkmagazine.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and enjoy our videos.